Hey, welcome to another edition of Right on Rangers Live, coming at you after a thrilling 20-17 Dallas Cowboys victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a good day to be a Dallas fan, baby. I sure hope some haters stayed up and watched that. Have to get up early tomorrow for work. Had to watch them Cowboys win one in Pittsburgh. That's what's up. We're here for it. Man, it looked a little dicey, not the prettiest of wins. I will be the first to say that out loud. Not the prettiest of wins tonight, but a win is a win, as they say, and the Cowboys get out of Pittsburgh after a lengthy weather delay. The Dallas Cowboys get out of Pittsburgh with a win. Wasn't expecting that finish, I must say. Dak Prescott, it felt like at times, was doing just about everything he could to lose this game for Dallas with the three red zone turnovers at that, and then goes on to get the redemption on the final drive, leading Dallas to a 2017 victory over the Steelers. Man, it's good to be a Dallas fan today. And I must say, thank you all for joining us. We are going late tonight. We are after midnight in Texas, but it's all good. We're here. Hey, rain or shine, it happens to be shining right now, but rain or shine, we are here after every Dallas Cowboys game, trying to bring you the greatest post-game analysis we can. Thank you for choosing Right on Rangers for all of your Dallas Cowboys post-game content. Appreciate you guys. We're going to do a little bit of everything today. We're going to get into the key moments of the game, the scoring. We're going to get into a little box score with you. Of course, we're going to go through players of the game. We're going to take your comments, your questions. I'll be checking TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, just about everything as much as I can tonight. And we're going to get this done. We got to enjoy wins like tonight. It is not often you get the Cowboys walking it off nearly, 15 seconds left in the game, whatever. Cowboys basically walk this one off. You don't get that too often. Normally, if you've been a Dallas fan long enough, you fully expect something to go poorly on that drive. In fact, catastrophic might be a better word. Poorly might be a little bit too nice. You expect things to not go well on drives like that if you're a Dallas Cowboys fan. But we got the, how do I say this? The mythical comeback, fourth quarter, down to the wire victory. And Dak Prescott gets the redemption, leads the way for the Cowboys tonight. And let's just be completely 100 here. Y'all know, who have been following me for a while, we keep things 100 quite frequently. And you know what? It feels good to beat those Steelers, hate the Steelers, or squealers as we call them. And you know what? In Pittsburgh, in their own place, it's felt like 2016 all over again. Of course, 2016, Dak's rookie year, Zeke went off. I think he had like an 80-yard touchdown reception in that game. Man, it was shades of 2016 tonight in Pittsburgh, beating the Steelers, who were 3-1 on the year? Just saying, the Steelers had a little swag, and the Cowboys came in and just took them down a notch, if you know what I mean. Took them down a notch there. I'm here for it. I didn't know if we were going to play this game, man. I'm glad for all y'all that stayed up for this one. It is after midnight in Texas, after 1 a.m. on the East Coast. Let's go. Everybody that stayed up tonight for this one, you treated yourself. Let's just say it like it is. Let me keep going here. I'm going to get into comments. What's up to everybody that's tuning in on TikTok? Appreciate all y'all. We are going to have some fun with this win tonight. We don't get to enjoy these clutch dubs very often from the Cowboys. They have 4th and goal from the 4-yard line. And was there a more nightmarish sequence than the Cowboys there getting down within the 5-yard line? You had 2nd and goal from the 1. Only the Cowboys can make 2nd and goal from the 1 look interesting. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line. G. Smith, I'm going to read some TikTok comments. I can't put the TikTok comments up for all y'all on YouTube and Facebook, but I'll read them out for you. Cowboys got to be the worst team in the league. 3 turnovers and luck on their side. It was a luck? Was it luck? Because I'm pretty sure that vaunted Pittsburgh defense had to give up an 80-yard or whatever, 70-yard touchdown drive to lose that one. I wouldn't say that was luck. The officiating was pretty terrible all night long. Felt like it favored the Steelers more often than not. That George Pickens unnecessary roughness penalty, can we just be honest? That was terrible. The other one that they called on the Cowboys, when Zach Martin had to come out of the game and the backup guards getting in somebody's face and they call unnecessary roughness. I don't want to hear anybody say that it was luck tonight. Come on now. Not luck tonight. Cowboys had to drive 75 yards to get a touchdown. Let's go. That's not lucky. That's getting a dub right there. America's team. Yes, ma'am. America's team. Dallas Cowboys beating the Steelers. Is there anything sweeter? Let me go ahead and get to YouTube right now. John, what's up, man? Thanks for tuning in. That was insane. I did not know how that last 4th down play was going to go. It looked good out of Dak's hand. Like I saw Tolbert, but he looked like he was pretty well draped there. That was not an easy catch from Jalen Tolbert. That was not an easy catch, y'all. I mean, you had somebody on your back, arm in the cookie jar. That was not an easy catch. Beautiful throw from Dak with TJ Watt and everybody bearing down on you. Beautiful throw. The throw looked great. Just did not know if Tolbert was going to be able to secure it with the defender draped on his back, hand in the cookie jar. Jalen Tolbert, man, he defined himself tonight as a number 2. With Brandon Cooks injured, I think that really opened things up for Tolbert to step up. We've had the reports, Tolbert and Dak syncing up a lot this year. Jalen Tolbert and Dak look more in sync than CeeDee Lamb and Dak do right now. I mean, I wish that I wasn't saying that, but anybody who watched the game, I know you're with me. Jalen Tolbert and Dak look more in sync than CD and Dak do. Hey, at least somebody's in sync with Dak. That's what I'm saying. At least somebody is in sync. We'll get into the CeeDee Lamb stuff in a little bit here. I love CeeDee Lamb. They need CeeDee Lamb. If they're going to have any hope at playoffs or making a run in the playoffs, you got to get CeeDee Lamb on track. But Jalen Tolbert, you feel like you needed a game like this from somebody not named CeeDee Lamb to step up and become a significant figure, become a significant player in this offense. Up until this game, who did you feel like was the number 2 for the Cowboys? Who? I mean, Dowdle had an outstanding game, but up until this point, I don't think anybody felt like Dowdle was running away with the number 2 offensive weapon status title. I mean, maybe Ferguson. And look, even Ferguson has had solid games, but nothing off the charts. You needed a game like this from Tolbert. You don't want to see Cooks with the injury, but look, it opened things up for Jalen Tolbert to fully step into that number 2 spot, and he shined. And I hope that moving forward, this isn't a one-hit wonder. Jalen Tolbert can be a guy that can hopefully lead to more open looks from CeeDee Lamb. I know after one game, defenses aren't going to be switching everything up, but you get a couple more games of consistency out of Tolbert where Dak is targeting him, and then we'll see what happens. We're going to get into CD. We're going to keep things positive for now. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Dak and CD. Look, there's some obvious things that I think you can really point to for why Dak and CD aren't in sync. CD holdout, no preseason for either one of them. It's just not a shock, but it's not good to see. And at this point, we're 5 games in. Not ideal. We're going to keep on going with comments here. John says, I tell you what, the running game tonight was actually working. They stuck with it to kill clock. Rico Dowdle What a game from Rico tonight. You felt like this run game was just, I would say, pretty much terrible coming into this game. I did not feel good about the run game at all coming into this one. I don't know who did. The run game, I don't know if they had made it over 100 yards yet all season long collectively, maybe one time. This run game was not good coming into this one. And I don't know if it was the Steelers, the prime time. I don't know what it was, but we had Rico Dowdle going off tonight. That catch that he had on that touchdown, that was an incredibly difficult catch. You are diving, ball low to the ground, high probability that ball hits the ground and it becomes an incomplete catch. That touchdown grab by Rico Dowdle, amazing. And the way Rico was running all night long, those were hard carries. He was working all night. That's those furious runs that you feel like we got from Tony Pollard in the prime, what I would call prime Tony Pollard years. I'm not saying Tony Pollard is completely over the hill or anything like that, but I think y'all know what I mean. It felt like after the injury, Pollard just didn't have that same burst. Felt like Rico Dowdle was like first year Tony Pollard for us. Just everything, every hole was hit hard tonight. Love to see that. We needed a good running game tonight from Rico Dowdle, Zeke Elliott. Collectively, it was outstanding. The Cowboys needed this game. They needed this game. I did not want to think about the state of the Dallas Cowboys after a loss like this one, where, quite honestly, the Cowboys should have blown out the Steelers. Like everybody's saying, like there's a couple people already I know I see on TikTok saying the Cowboys got lucky tonight. What do you mean they got lucky tonight? The Cowboys dominated this game. Dak Prescott turned the ball over 3 times in the red zone. A fumble and 2 interceptions. Maybe that one interception was technically not in the red zone. The Steelers are lucky this wasn't a blowout. I mean, let's just call it like it is. The Steelers are lucky this game was not 3 scores. Easily could have been a 3-score game tonight. Cowboys winning something like maybe 34-17. The Cowboys left multiple field goals and touchdowns on the table. Brandon Aubrey had a field goal blocked. Dak, again, a fumble and 2 interceptions in this one. Pittsburgh's lucky this game didn't get out of hand. Dallas controlled this game the entire night. If you watched it from beginning to end, it never felt like the Steelers were dominating this game. It felt like the Cowboys were shooting themselves in the foot possession after possession. This game easily could have been 34-17 Dallas if Dallas plays even like 50% more of a clean game. Maybe they only turn it over 1 time instead of 3. Pittsburgh's lucky this didn't get embarrassing. So anybody saying Dallas is lucky to win this game, Pittsburgh's fortunate they had an opportunity at the end of the game to actually stop the Cowboys and get a win. I mean, look, I don't even understand the lucky comments for Dallas. Dallas was in control. Dak, redemption on the final drive. But Dak was pretty bad at the beginning of this game. Turning the ball over was not good. Cowboys were trying to gift this game to the Steelers. Glad they did it in the end. But nobody should be saying the Cowboys got lucky. My goodness. I mean, you didn't watch the game. If that is what you're coming away with after this one, the Cowboys got lucky. Come on now. That's just not what happened. Pittsburgh got lucky. This one wasn't ugly. All right, let's get into it. I got to get some comments here. Yeah, I agree. Colton should have won by 15 plus. Should have been a 3-score game. Should have been 34-17 Cowboys. Let me keep going. Scrolling back through. Yeah, that 4th and they got lucky on that 4th and goal. What are you talking about? Perfect pass, great catch. There's no luck involved with that game-winning play. It was all skill. There's no luck there. No luck at all in that game-winning play. Again, the people saying lucky, come on now. Please. All right, let me get into CD. I know y'all want to, I see a couple people on TikTok. Y'all want to talk a little bit about CD. By the way, all y'all on YouTube, I'm going to get to you guys in a little bit. Look, I'm going to start with this. CD Lamb held out. He held out. The Cowboys starters got no preseason. I'm not shocked they're out of sync. I'm not shocked that they're out of sync right now. Dak didn't play the preseason. CD didn't play the preseason. And CD held out. And look, I don't know what the dynamic is. CD, Dak. I think that you can go a number of different ways with it. I will say some of the body language, just like optics, do not look great with CD and Dak. You know, their interactions on the sideline, some of the media stuff. There was some weird media stuff last year with CD and Dak and some of CD's family. I don't know. Look, I feel like at this point, you're just not shocked that CD and Dak aren't on the same page. No preseason, limited offseason. They're trying to get CD the ball. Like, they're trying. They're doing the short passes. They're doing the screen plays. They're trying to get the ball in his hands. It's some of the routes that are, you know, deeper, the middle routes that it just doesn't feel like they're on the same page completely. That play where Dak gets picked off right at the pylon and CD keeps on running. I don't know. Can I say this though? And I'm not trying to make this team Dak, team CD. I'm not. But I'm on Dak's side when it comes to a lot of stuff in terms of communication out there. Look, Dak, the physical execution, it's not always there. Do I think Dak has a very strong command of the offense? Yes. Does Dak always get the job done physically? No. But do I think that mentally Dak, most games, is there, knowing what plays are being run, knowing the offense? Yes. So that little spat CD and Dak had on the sideline, I'm siding with Dak. Like, I would be more on the side of CD probably made a mistake than Dak messed up on that play. Like, I think Dak, out of every Cowboy, knows the offense better than any of them. So when there's a miscommunication, unless Dak comes out and says, yeah, that was my bad. I totally biffed that one. And, you know, I threw the wrong route. CD was doing the right thing. Unless Dak comes out and says that, for me, I'm on Dak's side. I think one thing you can't say about Dak is that he doesn't have a good feel. He doesn't have control of the offense. He does. It's just the physical side of things. Is he going to throw the ball short? Is he going to throw the ball behind the receiver? Is he going to loft the ball too much and it gets intercepted, like what happened in this game when he was trying to throw the deep ball downfield? Like, the physical side of things is what I worry about when it comes to Dak. I'm not worried about Dak and the mental side of it, running the right plays, throwing the right routes. It doesn't mean that it can't happen. But if there's a spat between CD and Dak, unless Dak comes out and admits what really happened, I'm on Dak's page. I think he has enough credibility around the league for his teammates, around his team, that I would probably say Dak was in the right. CD probably needs to run the comeback there. And CD probably doesn't know what he's doing because he held out and he didn't have a preseason. And I'm wearing the CD jersey right now. I know it comes off like I'm hating on CD. I love CD Lamb. Love him. But look, when it comes to knowing the offense, I don't know how you side with CD over Dak. Let me keep going here. I'm going to get back to the comments. Let me keep going here. Generational, if you're still tuned in, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. We did sneak that one out. Didn't need to be that close. It did not need to be coming down to the end like that. Brian, they barely won. Sure, it could have been 17 plus. A win's a win. But we're saying they barely won. They won, and anybody that watched the game knows it should have been a lot worse of a beatdown of the Steelers than what it was. Yeah, John, fumbling on the 1 yard line. We got a couple people on YouTube, by the way, all y'all on TikTok. I got YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram right ahead of me here. y'all on the phone right here, so I'm going to do my best with comments back and forth. But this is a comment from YouTube. John says, fumbling on the 1 yard line and Dak falling on it to keep the drive alive. Look, Dak was on point. That last drive, Dak was 100, was on point. And a big reason why the Cowboys win that game. Dak would have been the reason the Cowboys lost that game. Like, there's no other way to put it. You don't blame the defense. They played outstanding. The defense played outstanding tonight, and we're going to get to them in just a little bit. We're going to go through some comments first. We'll get back to the defense, but I see some people talking about the defense on TikTok right now. Kyle, what's up? Steelers fan. Good game. Good game. It was. Look, it was a battle. Classic Steelers-Cowboys battle. Like, it needed to be low scoring. You think about some of the Super Bowl scores, the 21-17 game where the Steelers come out on top. Felt like this one just needed to be low scoring and close. So, look, Dak on that final drive, on point. I cannot believe the Cowboys' second and goal from the 1 yard line. And somehow the Cowboys find a way to make it hard on themselves. That should be a slam dunk victory. You got second and goal on the 1 yard line. Let me keep going here. We had a lot of yards, but Dak's turnovers got to stop. Agreed. Look, Dak wins the game tonight. He wins the game. You want to give credit, you want to give flowers to the defense, I'm with you. Absolutely. Absolutely. The defense was a big, huge part of this game. And look, Dak doesn't even need to have this final drive if he just doesn't turn the ball over, even 2 out of the 3. But nevertheless, Dak does get the job done, the final series, but we got to give some props to that defense. No Parsons, no Tank, and we still find a way to only give up 17 points on the road. That plays. Absolutely plays. Yes, Dallas did get the win 20-17. Let me see here. I'll keep going. Tolbert was quoted as saying, John says here, Tolbert was quoted as saying he had spent a bunch of time working with Dak in the preseason. Yep, we talked about that at the beginning of the show. Tolbert and Dak were in the lab this summer, getting in sync. CD and Dak, don't think they were doing that. Don't think they were doing that at all. And you know, with CD's holdout, you're already not playing preseason games. I'm just not shocked that you've got Dak and CD out of sync. Look, maybe it takes a couple more games. Maybe you need the bye week. Of course, week 7, Cowboys have the bye week. Then you go play the Niners in San Fran. Look, I'm going to talk about the Niners here for a second, just before I forget about this. Is there a quieter 2-3 start in the National Football League than the Niners going 2-3? Is there a quieter 2-3 start? I'll wait. I mean, I just don't appear to be hearing a whole lot about the 49ers completely stumbling out the gate. I don't know. I feel like the Cowboys are 2-3. You would hear nothing but Cowboys demise, destruction, despair the next day. All I'm saying is I better hear a little bit about the Niners. There better be some people on the talk shows, the talking heads, myself included. There better be some people talking about the Niners tomorrow, because you know they would have been writing on the Cowboys' tombstone after a loss tonight. So the Niners go 2-3, lose to the Cardinals at home. Can we talk about the Niners tomorrow on Get Up and First Take and all those shows? I'm just saying. I mean, talk about the Cowboys too, because that win was outstanding. But can we talk a little bit about the Niners tomorrow, please, on some of the talk show radios, on some of the talk show TV, all those? I want to hear it, because the Niners have had about the quietest 2-3 start for being a team that's been, to the NFC Championship 2-3 years in a row, whatever it is. Come on now. You know they would be writing the Cowboys' tombstone right now had we lost this game. Let me keep on going here. JDT, what's up, man? How do I feel about Zimmer's defense? A lot better after tonight. Am I right? A lot better after tonight. How do I feel about Zimmer's defense? Look, I'm still jury's out. Jury's out on Zim. Look, I think it's a little bit damning that Parsons and Lawrence out, and the defense has, besides maybe the Browns game, and the Browns are not good, the defense has the best game of the season without Parsons and Lawrence. I mean, look, I got to see another game before I make a conclusion. I might need to see that Niners game before I make a full conclusion on the Zimmer defense. But I'm just saying, you have the best defensive output of the year without arguably your two best defensive players. Give the defense a ton of credit tonight, like a ton of credit tonight, because I did not expect at all the defense to give up less than 20. I thought minimum 24, maybe pushing 30. And I thought Justin Fields would have a nice game today without the rush, without the edges, Lawrence and Parsons sealing him off, keeping contained. I thought it could get ugly with Fields using his legs. It didn't happen. So give a lot of credit to Zimmer and the defense. You know, they were hearing a lot of noise coming into this game. And they said, whatever, we'll see. And we did. 20-17 later, I'm feeling a lot better about Zimmer's defense. But let me reevaluate after week 8. We got the Lions next week. We got a bye week. And then we go to San Fran. I want to see this defense in San Francisco. Look, they lose to the Cardinals. Clearly, they can be had at home. Looking a little vulnerable this year for whatever reason. Defense, I know, is a little down. They lost some big pieces defensively. And we're going to do plenty of Niners talk as that week gets closer. But I will say this. It feels like you might see the Cowboys 4-3 after 8 weeks. 4-3. I think it could happen. Cowboys get a big win tonight. Maybe 4-3 is possible. Look, I'd be surprised if the Cowboys go 2-0 over the next 2 weeks. Like beating Detroit and beating San Fran on the road, it's not going to be easy. I'm going to take 1-1, and I'm going to be elated if it's actually 2-0. I got to think the Lions are going to be coming in strong to Dallas after what happened last year, you know, the 2-point conversion and just how that whole game unfolded. I got to imagine the Lions are coming into Big D with a little bit of revenge, a lot of bit of revenge in mind. I think that the Lions are going to give us one of their best games of the season. I actually probably feel more confident about the Niners game than I do the Lions right now. I'd take 1-1. You know, I'm 2-0. I'm going to be elated on this show after that Niners game if we go 2-0 over the next 3 weeks. You include the bye week, of course. But I actually feel better about the Niners game right now than I do about the Lions game. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. Let me keep going here with comments. Let me get to TikTok here. I just did a YouTube one. Let me see if I can get anything. Let's go, Cowboys. Appreciate all y'all following. Hey, if you're not following, you're not subscribed yet, would greatly appreciate it. This guy's don't know football. Whatever. If I had $1 every time somebody tells me I don't know football, I'd be a rich man. And then, ironically, most of the people saying you don't know football themselves. It's about how it goes. You do this long enough, that's what you figure out. Dak and CD, this is a great comment. Blue, I like this one. Dak and CD need a therapist. They ain't right. That's great. I love that. They do need a therapist. Get those two in a room and just make them sit in there until they figure it out. We got to get those guys right. Let me see. How about them Cowboys, my brother? Yes, sir. Our run game is back. I'm not ready yet. I loved what I saw from Rico and Zeke tonight. Don't know if I'm ready. The comment was run game is back. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to say that yet. I need to see consistency. Tonight was amazing. Rico running hard, catching touchdowns out of the backfield. Like what I saw tonight was amazing from the run game. But can I get a little consistency before we say it's back? Look, no hate for the comment. I love the comment. I hope the run game is back. But at this point, I got to see consistency before I say it. Samuel, what's up? Thanks for the comment. Samuel on TikTok says, Turpin was amazing tonight. I was doing some live tweeting out on Facebook as well and Threads. By the way, if you want to follow me in-game, X, Threads, Facebook, I try and do a little multi-post all at once for everybody that's on the different socials. But I said Turpin has got to get more involved. You have basically CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, maybe Tolbert, maybe Ferguson, and then a lot of blah. Turpin needs to get used more. I've been saying this for a long time, and I was glad to see Turpin getting some touches tonight. Clearly, the Cowboys wanted to get him more involved in this one. We look at Turpin's stats on the night. Turpin tonight, he goes 4 total targets, 50 yards, had a long of 34, 5 targets, and then they got him involved in the run game as well. Totally got blown up by the Steelers. I mean, that was an ugly play on Turpin on the reverse. But look, they need to get Turpin more involved. They have needed to get Turpin more involved without a true number 2, and I hope Tolbert is going to become that true number 2. But without a true number 2, you've got to get Turpin involved. The speed, everything he brings in the open field, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me keep on going here. Let me see if I got it. Steelers are big mad right now. And Cowboys haters are too. Because you had to stay up till 1 a.m. on the East Coast to watch the Cowboys grind that one out. Come on now. Rico pushed off on his touchdown. Oh, my goodness. We could do this all game long. We could do this all game long. Rico pushed off on his touchdown. Okay. How ticky-tack are we going to get? That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of ticky-tack in this game. A lot of ticky-tack. Both the unnecessary roughness penalties, in the fourth quarter that the Steelers got in their favor, extremely ticky-tack. Like, come on now. And look, you're going to have things like that happen in a game. The officials aren't going to call it perfectly. Again, here's what I go back to for anybody crying about the Rico push-off. The Cowboys turned it over twice in the red zone. This game should have been 34-17 Cowboys. The Steelers are lucky this game was even close. Dowdle should be the number 1 back. I think he already kind of was, to be completely honest. But with that being said, I'm sure Zeke is still going to get those short yardage situations. Look, he got a couple of big 3rd and 1s, 3rd and shorts. It was nice to see Zeke pounding the ball, pounding the rock. I definitely feel like if they can get Rico doing this most games consistently, and then you got Zeke coming in behind to get you those tough yards on 2nd and short, 3rd and short, whatever the case may be, 4th and short, it's got to be the formula. It's got to be the formula at this point. Let me keep going here. Let me see. Appreciate the follow, by the way. Brandon, thank you so much. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, the 4th and goal touchdown was clutch. It was beautiful. Perfectly thrown. Agree, man. That fumble gave me a heart attack as well. All right. Hey, look, if there are some people that I guess don't hate the Cowboys, it feels like if you're not a fan, you're a hater, just based on everything you see online. But I'm glad some people stayed up late tonight and managed to enjoy the game who aren't Cowboys fans. The Des Bryant catch at Green Bay was a catch. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, let me keep going here. Let's see. I can't say any team is better. Too good of a game. I don't know. There's a lot of parity in the NFL this year. Like there is a lot of parity in the NFL this year. I don't know how I feel about all the top teams. Look, Baltimore looks pretty good right now. Of course, the Chiefs, the Vikings. I know somebody was asking me, what do I think about the Vikings? They just keep winning. I don't know if there's anything else you can say. Like you can hate on them, but you could just also say the Vikings keep winning freaking games, man. That's what you got to do. You can have all the potential in the world. You got to win games. And that's what the Vikings are doing right now. So you're not going to get any hate from me. Vikings 5-0 right now at all. More Rico pushed off on the touchdown. I'll totally comment on anything. Okay, so what if he did? You want to go back and go talk about all the plays that the Steelers got in their favor that shouldn't have been called that way? I mean, that's what you want to do? Again, the Cowboys would have won this game 34-17, probably at least double digits. 34-17 might be too generous, but Dak throws an interception at the goal line. Dak fumbles at the 15 or 20-yard line. Let's not pretend like the Cowboys weren't shooting themselves in the foot all night long. So we can talk about the Rico push-off, but let's also go back and diagram every favorable call the Steelers got as well. And there were plenty of them. So I don't even know what the argument is there. The argument is plays go each way every single game. And at that point, look, for me, those types of calls early in the game versus the call late in the game, late in the fourth quarter, like the BS unnecessary roughness calls that the Steelers were getting, it actually benefited the Cowboys. Like the Pickens unnecessary roughness benefited the Cowboys because the Steelers weren't able to kill as much clock as they otherwise would have been able to. Look, I can't even keep up with all y'all. Some people are getting all up in their feelings that I'm not commenting on every single comment. I wish, y'all. I'm trying. You know I'm not trying to ignore anybody. Some people, though, are thinking I'm scared to comment on stuff. Please, y'all got to hang around a little bit longer. There's no scared right now. Anything you want to talk about. If I just can't see it or the comments are going too much at one time for me to get it, that's one thing. But scared to go back and forth with y'all? Come on now. This is a TikTok live. This is nothing serious. Let's go. Let me keep going here with comments on YouTube. I don't want to neglect y'all. This is actually an interesting comment. Dallas needs Devontae Adams. This is a comment on YouTube. Dallas needs Devontae. Look, I said it earlier this week. That would be a great fit. A great fit. I don't think Devontae really wants to play in Dallas. From what it sounds like, he wants to go play with Aaron Rodgers again. I'm not even holding my breath on Devontae Adams, but I would really love to see that happen. I'd love to see Tay in a Cowboys jersey. 100%. But I'm not counting on it. Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones, the whole front office has proved to me this year they're not trying to spend a lot of money. I don't think they're trying to take on Devontae Adams' salary. I don't really know what is going to happen with that deal. I heard a second-round pick for Devontae Adams, but I'm sure there's going to be some money that you got to work out as well. I don't know. Who wins the Super Bowl this season? I don't even know. I'm not even sure I can give a good prediction on that right now. I'm not going to say Cowboys at this point. I said the Cowboys were going to go 9-8 at the beginning of the season, by the way, for any of y'all tuning in for the first time. I said Cowboys 9-8. I still think that. I think 9-8, maybe 10-7. I can't see 11-6. I look at the schedule and I just can't see it. You've got the Commanders suddenly looking good. Those games are going to be tough. Like all of our division games feel like they're going to be tough this year. Like the Giants game, I watched that Giants Seahawks game today. Look, the Seahawks might be overrated, but the Giants actually don't look half bad. I don't know. They played us like fairly well on that Thursday night game. I don't feel like anything's a lock in the NFC East. I'm going 9-8. I'm sticking with my prediction. I think that might actually be good enough to make the playoffs. I think 10-7 is the other number. I think 11-6, I would be overjoyed. I would love to be proven wrong. But I'm going 9-8, 10-7 at best this year for the Cowboys. I'll get back to y'all on my Super Bowl prediction. Let me keep going here. I don't think I'm underestimating the Vikings. I don't want to give any kind of shade or any notion that I'm giving shade about the Vikings. Look, what I said is they're 5-0. Instead of trying to explain away 5-0, how about just give them props that they are 5-0? I would love to be 5-0 right now as a Cowboys fan. Would love to be 5-0. I definitely think Tolbert needs to start over Cooks even when Cooks comes back. I think that's a no-brainer at this point. Cooks, to me, seems like aging on the back nine, a little injury prone at this point. I would love to see Tolbert take over that number 2 spot, no doubt. Let me keep going here. Did it seem like the defense played better without 11? I know this is going to be a hot topic, and I kind of alluded to it. Like, this was the best defensive game that the Cowboys have played all year. The Browns are terrible. I'm not even going to try and say that the Browns game was the best defensive game. The Browns are terrible. So the Steelers on the road, this was the best defensive game. And it does hurt that it's without 2 of your best players because it creates a lot of questions. Like, it is a positive, but it creates a lot of questions. I'm not going to sit here and proclaim the Cowboys are better off without Micah Parsons or Tank Lawrence. I just don't even want to get to that. I need to see more. Like, show me this again next week against the Lions, and I might be a little bit more apt to open up that Pandora's box. If the Cowboys are better off without Micah Parsons, without Tank Lawrence, like, give me a minute on that. But I will say the timing isn't great. But look, I'll equate it to this. Think about the Panthers for a second. Bear with me. So the Panthers bench Bryce Young, and then they go to Las Vegas and decimate the Raiders with Andy Dalton. And then the next 2 weeks, they're back to their usual. And everybody, I think there's a tendency week to week to overreact. I'm not going to overreact to one game without Tank Lawrence and Micah Parsons. Let me see a few more. I feel like this could be Andy Dalton blowing out the Raiders. I feel like this could be a little bit of a fluke. I hope it's not. I hope that the Cowboys continue to play well. But I want to see if they really are better off without Parsons and Lawrence. Personally, I don't think that they are. I think that this was a very well-constructed game plan by Mike Zimmer. They did a great job containing Justin Fields. But I need to see more consistency before I open up the controversy on Parsons, Lawrence. Are they better without? Let me keep going. Yeah, that fumble at the goal line. Somebody on YouTube commented about the fumble, the forced fumble of Rico Dowdle. Who was that, by the way? Which Steelers guy was that? I can barely keep up with all the Cowboys roster guys, so you'll have to forgive me. But that was a hit. That was a lick, man. I'm lucky. We're lucky that the Cowboys got that ball back. Dak just happened to be watching, jumped on that ball. That could have gotten ugly quickly. So, absolutely. I mean, look, that hit was phenomenal. Look, it does pain me. Todd, what's up, by the way? TJ Watt could have been a Cowboy. Like, you look at that TJ Watt draft, this pains me every time we play TJ Watt. TJ Watt could have been a Dallas Cowboy. Cowboys are not very good at drafting, in my opinion. I will come out and say they've gotten it right a few times. It feels like more often than not that hasn't been the case. I mean, look, the draft, from a couple years ago, the Mozzie Smith, Schoonmaker, I can't say I'm super high on that. Overshown looks to be the gem of that draft, and then a whole lot of nothing. I mean, Mozzie Smith was on the sideline a lot tonight. Schoonmaker had a couple of catches, but for me, I'm not on the side of Cowboys are great drafters. Look, I think Zach Martin, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb was kind of a no-brainer in my opinion. But look, the TJ Watt draft, missing out on him, painful. And by the way, if you're curious in that draft, what ended up happening, the Cowboys drafted Taco Charlton in the 2017 draft. I think Taco might still be bouncing around. I know he was like bouncing around to a few different teams the last couple of years. We drafted Taco 28th overall in the first round. TJ Watt goes 2 picks later to the Steelers. That's got to be one of the worst misses, like the worst misses in draft history. You could have had TJ Watt. Instead, you drafted Taco Charlton. Bravo. So look, I think it's stuff like that that just makes me feel we're not great at drafting. This year, we'll see what happens. Like Guyton, look, I know he got hurt tonight. To me, Guyton has been very up and down. I know Guyton isn't like a top 5 pick or anything like that. Still a first rounder and a rookie. So look, we're not trying to make a fast judgment on Guyton, but it's looked a little rough at times. I think we can admit that. It's looked a little rough with Guyton and the offensive line. For me, maybe it just needs more time, but I can't say I've been wowed by Guyton at this point. So for me, I still need to see more, and I need to give this one a little bit more time to cook before I make a final judgment. But man, if that TJ Watt draft will forever hurt every time we play them. Let me keep on going here. I'll see if I got any other comments here. I'm trying to sort through as much as I can, y'all. Let me go here. I'll go back to TikTok, see if I got anything worth going through. No, I'm not trying to miss out on anybody. I literally just can't keep up. I need to get a moderator in here. I need a producer for this show. That would make my life so much easier. Let me keep going here. Yeah. Juan, what's up, man? Yep. The Taco pick over Watt. My goodness. Cowboys are going to build off this. I hope they do. I think the Cowboys will make the playoffs this year. I think it's going to be close. Again, 9-8, 10-7 was my prediction. Cowboys are good drafters. Okay. Come on now. James, you can't just say that. You got to throw out something, man. Throw it out. So, to me, you're not a good drafter for taking obvious picks. CeeDee Lamb, like, I don't think you can say the Cowboys are good at drafting because they drafted CeeDee Lamb. Like, obviously. Obviously. I mean, look, the Cowboys have had some moments. No doubt. They've had some moments. But I don't know if you can come away saying excellent drafters. That's just me. Last year's draft was terrible. So I want to hear the reaction to last year's draft. I mean, look, last year's draft to me, pretty much the epitome of what's happened the past several years, minus some of the first round hits. Overshown. So we can't put Overshown on the list after one good game and a couple good ones after that. Like, we're talking about guys that have truly popped. I don't think we can sit on here and say Overshown is 100% a great pick. The dude's played 4 games. So for me, not willing to put Overshown on the list. Zach Martin was drafted 10 years ago. Trayvon Diggs, I think there's a lot of Cowboys fans that would fight you on how good really is Diggs. Look, for me, Diggs is a solid draft pick, no doubt. But my thing with the draft is defined, and your drafts are defined by the guys that you can get deep in the draft, not in the first round. I mean, Dak is the ultimate there. If you want to throw Dak out there, absolutely. But again, Dak's draft was almost 10 years ago. If you want to say, yeah, they drafted Parsons, they drafted Lamb, those were obvious picks. Like the Parsons one, I'll give you a little bit because he was injured or actually didn't play the COVID year. And so maybe there was a little bit of risk involved there. But we're talking good at drafting based on not your first round picks. We're talking about based on second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and the guys that you can get value out of. I don't think the Cowboys do a great job of that, but we can agree to disagree. Let me go. How do I know how many first round picks miss? A lot of first round picks miss. But I do know that there are teams that are clearly better at drafting than others. I don't personally think the Cowboys are great at drafting. I don't think that they are terrible, the worst in the league. I think they're mid at best at drafting. I don't know how you walk away thinking they're excellent because they drafted Dak 10 years ago. Zach Martin, what? Zach Martin was over 10 years ago? Or what, exactly 10 years ago? So for me, I'm not going to sit around and say they're the best drafters ever based on Zach Martin, Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, like obvious players that were drafted really high in the first round. Dak to me is an anomaly. Dak to me is somebody that defied the odds. I don't think that they expected Dak to be what he is. Maybe they would sit around and say that now, but I don't think that they would probably have said Dak was going to turn into the highest paid player in the NFL. I mean, that's just me. Minnesota might be one of the better ones at drafting. I do like what Minnesota does in the draft. Minnesota's done a nice job. There are a few other teams that I do rate highly for drafting well. I don't want to get into all these other teams tonight on a night when the Cowboys win a huge game against Pittsburgh, but my point is in the recent drafts, jury's still out on a lot of those players. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with some of those guys, how they develop. But for me, I need to see a lot more from some of these guys that we've drafted recently before I can say great draft pick, good draft pick. Not going to base a few games here and there on my decision of whether or not the Cowboys succeeded. Right now, though, last year's draft, questionable. This year's draft, questionable. We'll see what happens. Tyler Smith for sure. Lucas, I'll give you Tyler Smith. Absolutely. I will 100% give you Tyler Smith on that one. Tyler Smith, great draft pick. Zach Martin, a lot of the guys, but Tyler Smith, when was that Tyler Smith draft, by the way? I'll look it up while we're chatting here. Tyler Smith was, yeah, that's right. He was out of Tulsa and he was drafted in 2022. But again, my point, Lucas, is another first round pick, right? Another first round pick. So at this point, I don't know if I'm still saying, oh, you can draft first round picks, so you're a great drafter. The best drafting teams give value second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, even seventh round. My goodness, look at San Francisco drafting Brock Purdy in the seventh round. Again, don't think that they expected him to turn into what he is right now. But I'm not going to judge the Cowboys based on their first round picks exclusively. It's a part of the equation. And now, y'all, I don't do, by the way, I don't do accepting requests. I see a bunch of y'all trying to get me to let you go live with me. The comments are good for now. I'll just say that. It gets off the rails when All right, y'all. I think that is just about it. Let me see here. Hopefully, sorry if I lost sound for a little bit on YouTube. My bad. Hopefully, you can hear me now if you're still tuned in. If not, I'm sorry about that. My fault on the sound on YouTube, but hopefully, I'm back now. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this one a night, guys. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. I'm glad the Cowboys got a win. It's going to be a good day tomorrow. I'm interested to see that Stephen A reaction. I am very interested because Lord knows what it would be if we got the L tonight. So I'm trying to see that Stephen A reaction 100%. So let's just enjoy this one. Tough game next week against Detroit. I can only guess how these next 3 weeks are going to go. Your guess is as good as mine. I think 1-1 would be outstanding. The next 2 games, you got a bye week sandwiched in between. Let's do 1-1. I'd be elated with 2-0. But the Niners and Lions, 2-0 against those 2 teams, not an easy thing to do. This Cowboys team doesn't make a lot of sense, but nothing will surprise me. I will say that. But I'm hoping 1-1. Anything else, icing on top. Appreciate all y'all tuning in. Thank you so much. And at this point, I hope all y'all have a great rest of the week. Enjoy Monday Night Football tomorrow. And we'll be back here and there throughout the week. Some of y'all know every Wednesday I do an additional show. We cover Rangers, Texas Rangers off-season stuff. If you are a baseball fan, if you do enjoy the postseason that's baseball that's going on right now, or you're a Rangers fan, tune in with me on Wednesday. I'll try and put out a couple things Cowboys related throughout the week, maybe cutting something from the show. You know how it is. And then next weekend, we'll be live after the Longhorns game against the Oklahoma Sooners, Red River. That'll be a lot of fun. So for all the football fans out there that might skip the baseball on Wednesday, we'll be back on Saturday after the Longhorns game, and then on Sunday after the Lions game as well. Looking forward to it. If you're not following the account yet, you're not subscribed to the channel, would greatly appreciate if you hit that follow or subscribe button. Keep up to date with every time we go live and with all of our latest and greatest content. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you for the comments, the likes, the views. You're what make this fun. When I started this out, I really just wanted to get a good group of people together talking football, Cowboys football especially, and baseball as well, talking all the teams that I love from the great state of Texas. So thank you to you guys on TikTok, all y'all on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you guys have a great week ahead, a good Monday tomorrow, and I look forward to seeing y'all again later on in the week. But as I always say to end every show, God bless. Go Cowboys.